For me, I mean, it's all about availability for me and keeping my mind sharp and things of that nature. Being present on the floor, being present, locker room and bus rides and plane rides, things of that nature. It's challenging. It's challenging, for sure. It was a very challenging season, but I don't know. I think it was okay. I don't like to say it's a successful year because I don't play for anything besides winning championships. But we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. But I don't know. I got a lot to think about, to be honest. And just for me personally, going forward with the game of basketball, got a lot to think about.
I want to start off by saying, because I know this is going to come off as a big LeBron hate video, but despite what most people might think, and I actually get a lot of heat from this from Bulls fans, as a Bulls fan myself, I actually am a fan of LeBron James. Yes, a lot of his antics annoy the hell out of me sometimes, which is the premise of what we're talking about in this video, but I am a fan of LeBron James as a whole. I have mad respect for his game, what he's been able to do over the course of his career, being unstoppable and playing at an elite level for 20 years, which will likely never be seen again, and will go down as one of the greatest players of all time. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his greatness, and we should all appreciate what we have been able to witness as one of the greatest players to ever do it in our lifetime. So I want to acknowledge that first, because I'm sure a lot of Lakers fans or LeBron general stans will come in the comments going off on me, and that's fine, but this stunt that LeBron pulled in his post-game interview after getting swept in embarrassing fashion by the Denver Nuggets really needs to be called out for what it is, and it's what we'll be talking about in this video. If you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, then be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a video, and in return I'll be providing more NBA content like this. Now, I know this is taking away from the incredible performance and the playoff run we have seen from the Denver Nuggets thus far, and I will have a video out soon on just how insanely good this team is and how I believe they are primed to win their first NBA title. But you all heard in LeBron's post-game interview saying that he's unsure if he'll be with the team when next season begins and that retirement is under consideration, stating, "I'm simply not sure if I'll be back in the fall. I have a lot to think about." Now, first off, you have to bear in mind when, of course, these comments are coming. This is directly preceding a series sweep loss, and in a game in which the final play, LeBron failed to execute with 4 seconds remaining and his team down 2 in a pretty poorly drawn up play. Now, normally a longtime player, 38 years old, after completing his 20th season in the league, to say, hey, this might be it for me. Retirement is definitely a possibility, and no one would bat an eye at that. But this is LeBron James we're talking about, a man who is still playing at a high level, still one of the greatest players in the league. I personally think he's still a top 10 player in the NBA. I would say it's unquestionable he's top 15. I mean, the man just put up 40 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists on 15 for 25 shooting in an elimination game. Yeah, didn't execute that well down the stretch, which I've always said is the biggest differentiator between him and Michael Jordan in the GOAT debate, and the fact that MJ never lost in a final series and has 2 more championships, but I digress. Regardless, it was a great performance from LeBron overall, yet another great season, another All-Star selection, and an All-NBA selection. But putting aside for a moment that LeBron James is still playing at a high level and is still the best player on his team despite pushing 40 years old, even that reason aside for why LeBron would not consider retirement, LeBron James has said countless times over the past 2 years, his desire before calling it quits is to play on the same team with his son, Bronny James, who is set to enter the NBA draft in 2024 and be a rookie in the 24-25 season, assuming all goes well in his freshman year at USC and he declares for the draft. LeBron and Bronny would become the first father-son duo to play in the NBA together, and LeBron has said multiple times, whoever drafts his son, that's the team that he's going to be playing for his final season in the NBA. And with his son just 1 season out from entering the league, only 1 more season in which LeBron would have to play before Bronny is eligible for the draft. The fact that LeBron would suddenly say, yeah, I think I might just call it quits. This is too much for me. It was a nice dream to want to be able to play with my son, make history being the first father-son duo in the league, and it also being too much to have one last chance at a title while LeBron is still playing at a high level, because we all know how much he cares about his legacy and how it compares to Michael Jordan's. To just say, nah, I think this is it for me, is the biggest lie I have ever seen come out of LeBron's mouth just for shock value and catchy headlines. Aside from that one time when he said he maybe needs to learn how to flop when he wasn't getting calls, when we all know LeBron is one of the bigger floppers in the NBA. And look, the reason this bothers me so much is because we all know what LeBron is doing. We all know that he's not actually going to consider retirement. This is strictly a play to get the Lakers to act, to get the Lakers to start panicking, to do whatever they can to keep him around and to risk everything as it relates to their future, including draft picks, young players, to bring in a star or stars that he wants to help put them over the top and bring him another title. LeBron is also under contract for next season. People forget that. It's not like he has a player option or is going to be an unrestricted free agent. He still has 2 more years left on his deal, $53.3 million with a player option the following season. He would have to work out some sort of contract buyout with the Lakers if he actually wanted to retire, because it's not like the Lakers are just going to let him call it quits and keep giving him money while not playing. No, this is LeBron being strategic and calculated, and I would even say maybe an act of desperation to get the front office to go all in, to forget their future, to forget what life is going to look like without LeBron whenever he does leave the team, and strictly focus on winning one last championship before he declines his player option and goes and plays wherever Bronny gets drafted to, which is not going to result in winning a championship, whichever team he goes to play with Bronny James. This is it. This upcoming season is LeBron's very last chance in his career for that one final piece to add to his legacy, being among the very few to have 5 championships to their name. And I think it's petty for LeBron to, rather than having these conversations in private and his wishes and wanting the organization to go all in, to giving this nonsense attention-grabbing statement that he could be retiring, when we all know that it's a lie. And yes, I know some people are saying, well, maybe LeBron would just take a year off, focus on himself, spend some time with his family, be close with Bronny in his season at USC, come back refreshed and ready to play with Bronny James for one last year, and then retire for good. Nah, I don't see that happening. Really, for all the reasons I just explained. He's still playing incredibly well. It would be one thing if he was just barely hanging on, not being able to play more than 15 minutes per game. No, the man is still an all-star. He's not stepping away and taking a year off when he still has some good years left. And really the most annoying thing about this is LeBron saying this and creating this media frenzy about whether this is the last of LeBron James, how it's possible we just witnessed his last game. Saying this to completely detract from the fact that the Denver Nuggets have been absolutely dominant this playoffs, going to their first finals appearance in franchise history, playing incredible team basketball and having an answer for the Lakers at every turn. And also, what an incredible comeback it was in Game 4 in shutting down the Lakers in the second half after being down by as many as 18 points and locking up LeBron James on that final play to finish off the series. No one is talking about that now because of LeBron hinting at the possibility of retiring, which even he knows is just not true. Deflecting and turning the attention away from the great series by the Denver Nuggets and turning the attention away from those final few minutes in Game 4 which he failed to execute down the stretch. Taking those headlines away and turning it into this false narrative that LeBron might not be back in the league next year. And yes, I also realize the irony that I'm playing into in talking about LeBron's comments after Game 4 rather than the Nuggets and focusing on their dominant run, which again, I will have a video discussing their playoff run soon. But I had to vent and call out the BS from this and how much the media has just been eating it up while ignoring the Nuggets sweeping the Lakers in the conference finals. And also that this is really just a play by LeBron to get the front office to act, to do everything they can for one last title push. Because as impressive as the Lakers turned their season around after the trade deadline, where you thought they might even miss the play-in, going from that to heading to the Western Conference Finals, yes, that was incredible. But as impressive as that was in turning their season around and getting better pieces on their roster, it's clearly still not enough to win a championship. And they also have some very tough decisions to make as it relates to the futures of their free agents like Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. Reeves in particular, who is likely going to be a sought-after player from a lot of teams around the league and going to be getting himself a big bag. Do they try and retain those players and start building for a future without LeBron and AD? Or do they use those players as trade assets to try and add win-now talent? Is this a ploy for LeBron James to get his old buddy and teammate back in Kyrie Irving, who is a free agent this summer? I personally think that would be a disaster and would not get the Lakers a title, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers made a push for Kyrie in either signing him as a free agent outright or executing a sign and trade with the Dallas Mavericks. You let me know what you guys think in the comments on whether you think this would be a viable option for the Lakers that would put them over the top. Let me know in the comments, and as always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.